Have you ever stopped to wonder why we can make a sweetener that tastes sweet, but we can never, ever truly replicate something like honey? Well, the book Zero Waste Engineering has a pretty wild answer. It argues the problem isn't in the chemistry, it's in the very way we've been taught to see the world. It suggests there might be a fundamental bug in the operating system of modern science. And today, we're going to unpack that.
So yeah, that's the big question, right? Why can't we just make our own perfect honey? The source material here suggests it's because we're totally focused on the wrong thing. We're looking at a snapshot, the chemical formula, what honey is right now, instead of the whole movie of how it came to be.
And look at this breakdown. This isn't just about honey versus sugar. This is like a tale of two completely different realities. On one side, you've got nature, messy, complex, self-healing, with literally infinite possibilities. And on the other side are artificial stuff, simple, predictable, linear, and ultimately pretty limited. What the authors are saying is that these two columns represent the core conflict in how we approach the world today. Okay, this is where we get to the core idea. And honestly, it's a game changer. It's this analogy of the snapshot versus the movie. Our artificial sweetener, that's the snapshot. It's one frozen, perfect moment in time. But the honey? Oh, the honey's the whole movie. It's the product of a super long, complicated story with bees and flowers and weather and a whole ecosystem. And according to this book, our modern world is completely obsessed with just the snapshot. This snapshot thinking is what the authors call the artificial view. And the key is that little symbol you see, delta T approaches zero. All that really means is that the change in time is basically zero. Time gets flattened. In this view, history doesn't matter. Context? Who needs it? All that exists is the here and now, the tangible stuff we can see and measure in this one single frozen moment. But what if we looked at the world in a totally different way? That's the natural view, where time approaches infinity. With this lens, you can't possibly understand a river by just looking at it now. You have to understand the rain, the mountains, the geology, the entire history of the landscape. It's a view that says, yeah, it's complex, and that's okay. It accepts that the most important things, they can't be captured in a single snapshot. And here's the kicker. The text gives this snapshot thinking a name of phenomenal. It's a powerful word, but it gets right to the heart of the problem. It means that so much of our science is based on these perfect, idealized, steady-state conditions that, well, they just don't exist in the real world. You know, things like frictionless surfaces or perfectly closed systems. They're useful for math, for sure, but they aren't how nature actually works. And the book's thesis is that this aphenomenal thinking is a fundamental bug in our code. So you have to wonder, right? If this way of thinking is so out of sync with nature, how did it become the dominant worldview? Well, the book actually traces the history of this idea, showing how, step by step, we learned to favor the snapshot over the movie. It didn't happen overnight. You can see the shift over centuries. We went from ancient science, which was all about long-term observation, watching the stars to navigate, to Greek philosophy, which introduced this idea of perfect, timeless forms. Fast forward to the 19th century, and boom, the snapshot view is king. There was a conscious effort to literally erase history from scientific models and focus only on the present, measurable state of things. The movie of nature got edited down to a single static photograph. Now this is where the analysis really throws down the gauntlet. The book argues that this obsession with equilibrium isn't just a scientific preference, it's a political one. I mean, think about it. If the steady state is normal and anything else is a disturbance, well, that's a super useful idea for anyone who wants to maintain the status quo. It's a way of thinking that protects the establishment, whether that's in science, politics, or society at large. Okay, so this isn't just some abstract philosophical debate. This snapshot thinking has real-world, and I mean devastating, consequences. And there's no better or more tragic example than what's been happening with colony collapse disorder, the mystery that's wiping out honeybee populations all over the globe. I mean, just look at these numbers. They are terrifying. We're talking about a disappearance rate of 80 to 100% in some areas. That's the potential collapse of entire ecosystems that rely on these bees for pollination. So how has our snapshot science responded? Well, by looking for a single, simple cause. It's like a scientific whodunit, right? We're on the hunt for the one culprit. Was it the virus, maybe the parasite, or the pesticides? Each one of these is a classic snapshot investigation, trying to pin the crime on a single suspect. But what if the problem isn't a single thing at all? And this right here is the book's mic drop moment. It argues that the search for a single cause is the problem. The real culprit isn't one virus or one pesticide. It's the whole movie of modern life. The accumulated stress, the environmental toxins, the loss of habitat. It's our entire aphenomenal lifestyle that's killing the bees. This table really gets to the root of it. The authors show how even our most basic scientific laws are built on these aphenomenal ideas. Like, take Newton's first law. It assumes a body can be at rest. But in a universe where every atom, every planet, every galaxy is constantly moving, is anything ever truly at rest? These aren't just thought experiments. They fundamentally shape how we engineer our world. So, what's the solution? Do we just throw out 200 years of science? No, not at all. Instead, the authors call for a radical upgrade to our scientific operating system. It's time to stop being obsessed with the snapshot and finally embrace the whole movie. And the book lays out a pretty clear path. First, we just have to be honest and acknowledge the limitations of our current models. Second, we have to start valuing the things we can't easily measure in a snapshot, things like history, context, and complexity. And finally, the big one, we need to build a new science of intangibles, a science that's actually designed to understand the whole movie, not just one frame. This chart really helps visualize the shift. Right now, our science of tangibles is almost entirely focused on the final outcome. But a science of intangibles rebalances the whole equation. It says the process, the history, the journey. That's at least 50% of the story. It means valuing the journey just as much as the destination. And the ultimate goal is actually pretty simple, but it's also revolutionary. It's to reorganize our thinking so we can go with the flow of nature, instead of constantly trying to fight against it. It's about designing systems that are as resilient, as adaptive, and, frankly, as beautiful as the natural world itself. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Where else in your own life are you just looking at a snapshot when you should be watching the whole movie? Maybe in your health, or your career, or your relationships. The ideas in this text are a powerful reminder that life isn't a destination. It's a complicated, messy, and beautiful process. It's a whole movie, and it's worth watching every single frame.